Hello, and welcome back once again to Infinite Jeff, the project where I, Jeff, read the book Infinite Jest to you one page at a time, one day at a time, put it up on the YouTubes.com for the whole world to listen to and enjoy. But, this is page number, a context. It's December 2nd, 2020. That means there's less than 1 month left in this horrible year. And, excuse me, currently 109, I was going to say $1.09, currently 1:09 p.m. In the afternoon. It's Wednesday. I got nothing planned for today. Going to try my hand at recording a podcast with some friends of mine later on tonight. So we'll see how that goes. Hopefully my luscious voice, hopefully that will maintain its lusciousness throughout the podcast. Yes. Anyway, yeah. So, waiting on some laundry. Not much else going on. Just beat BioShock 2 yesterday. Well, I beat it a couple days ago, and then the DLC, which, is short for downloadable content. So basically, when the game originally came out in 2010, I actually bought the big special edition because I really enjoyed the first BioShock. And this one came with, a fucking art book. All right. Whatever. But it came with a record, which is cool, of the first BioShock's soundtrack, which is actually kind of valuable now. So I'm glad I bought it. And then they came out with downloadable content, which was like another little, self-contained kind of story section. But I was like, fuck that. I already spent $80 on this thing. I'm not spending another $10. So I just never played it. Now, a couple years ago, I got the BioShock collection for the PlayStation 4. Because originally I'd had all three, BioShock 1, BioShock 2, and BioShock Infinite on the Xbox 360. Well, they remastered it, so it looks, 10% but nicer. But basically it collected all three games into one package, although 2 discs, which is interesting. But BioShock 2 comes with the DLC now. It's included on the disc, because they're not just trying, So this is the first time I ever played through that, and it's just like BioShock 2. It's fun. It's interesting. You're taking on you're basically trying to get to a rudimentary computer, and you're just a random Big Daddy enemy, Subject Sigma. And this guy has been feeding you information like, oh, you need to go here, the guy who programmed the computer. Then you find out, oh, well, he fed his personality into the computer, so the computer's been talking to you the whole time. But then also, he was taken to jail, and he became a Big Daddy in jail, and so you're also him, so he's the computer, and you're him, and he's talking to you, and it's just, it's neat. It's kind of like, okay. But it was fun. It plays just like BioShock. Everything's kind of, BioShock 2, I should say, everything's kind of compressed. You get all the same weapons, but you get them in a much quicker time frame. It's fun. More of the same. Which BioShock 2 was more of the same BioShock 1. BioShock Infinite is another story. That's a fun game. I will play it again. It's a deeply flawed game. Basically, the first 2 games' play style is very much dictated by the setting that you were in, which was a city at the bottom of the ocean. So you had a lot of hallways and cramped corridors, and that made sense for being in a city at the bottom of the ocean. But then the next game, in BioShock Infinite, it takes place in a city floating in the sky, and yet it's still designed like the first game for tight corridors and self-contained rooms. When you have much more open, it's fun. Don't get me wrong, neat story, but I think all the critics have valid points. when it comes to Bioshock Infinite and 2. But regardless, all 3 are good. All 3 are worth playing. I'm buying the Bioshock collection for my friend Eric for Christmas because he's never played any of them. He doesn't know the big twist of the first one, which is that Atlas, who's been feeding you information the whole time, it turns out to be Frank Fontaine, and you go and you kill Andrew Ryan with a golf club to the head. And then the second one, if you find an Andrew Ryan statue in the amusement park level and you shoot a golf club at its head, you get a achievement called 9 Irony. So that's fun. But anyway, that's Bioshock. And this is page number 286. Let's go. The old BU coach showed up in LL Bean chinos and a Lacoste polo shirt and got a look at the size of Oren's left arm, and then at Oren's mom's in a tight black skirt and Levantine jacket with coal around her eyes and a moose tower of hair, and about fell back over sideways the other way. She had this effect on older men, somehow. Oren was in a position to dictate terms limited only by the parameters of BU's own sports budget's marginality. Footnote 97. Oren signed a letter of intent accepting a full ride to BU, plus books and a Hitachi laptop with software and off-campus housing, and living expensive and a lucrative work-study job where his job was to turn on the sprinklers every morning at the BU football Terriers' historic Nickerson Field, sprinklers that were already on automatic timers. The sprinkler job was BU's tennis team's one plum, recruitment-wise. Charles Tavis, who at Avril's urging that fall cashed in his Canadian return ticket and stayed on as assistant headmaster to assist Oren's father's oversight of the academy, footnote 98, in a progressively more and more total capacity as both in and external travels took J.O. Incandenza away from Enfield more and more often, said 3.5 years later that he'd never really expected a thank you from Oren anyway for liaisoning with the BU tennis apparatus, that he wasn't in this for the thank yous, that a person who did a service for somebody's gratitude was more like a 2D cutout image of a person than a bona fide person. At least that's what he thought, he said. And what did Avril and Hal and Mario think? Was he a genuine 3D person? Was he perhaps just rationalizing away some legitimate hurt? Did Oren maybe resent him for seeming to move in just as he, Oren, moved out? Though surely not for Tavis's assuming more and more total control of the ETA helm as J.O. and Condenza spent increasingly long hiatus either off with Mario on shoots or editing in his room off the tunnel or in alcoholic rehabilitative facilities, 13 of them over those final 3 years. Tavis has the Blue Cross statements right here. And even more surely not for the final felo de se anyone with any kind of denial-free sensitivity could have predicted, wonder what that was, for the past 3.5 years. But CT opined on 4th of July, YDPAH, which of course stands for the Year of the Maybe that's the yogurt one, I don't know. After Oren, who now had plenty of free summertime, declined his 5th straight invitation back to Enfield and his family's annual barbecue and Wimbledon finals interlace spontaneous dissemination watching. Oren might just be harboring a resentment over CT moving into the headmaster's office and changing the doors te oxidere posant before himself's microwaved head had even cooled, even if it was to take over a headmaster's job that he'd been positively keening to have someone sedulous and brisk take over. Incandenza himself, having eliminated his own map on the 1st of April of the year of the trial-sized Dove Bar, just as spring letters of intent were due from seniors who'd decided to slouch off to college tennis, just as invitations for the European Dirt Circuit Invitationals were pouring in all over Lateral Alice Moore's paraboloid desk, just as ETA's tax-exempt status was coming up for Hey everybody, thank you so much for tuning in to this installment of Infinite Jeff. This was page number 286. We've been on this journey now for, it's going to be a year in February. It's been it's been magical. I thank you so much. Thank you to everybody for your support. Thank you to all the folks over on my Patreon. If you want, you can give some money. My Discord server. If you want to help out the channel, what you can do is you can subscribe. You can hit that bell icon to get notified. And smash that like button. Just fucking do that. That is definitely one way you can help out the channel. You can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr. You can follow me on Dig, Friendster. You can follow me on MySpace. Just look for Infinite Jeff on all these platforms. Parler. You can find me on. You can check out my live journal. You can look for me. Follow me on Reddit. You can follow me on Squid Squad. Dibble Dabble, Tusk, and Netscape. You can follow me on Netscape. So I just once again thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you everybody for your support, and I see it's all live. We nuts and all, folks.